Thank you for taking an interest in our exciting mission, which we hope you'll want to be a part of. I'm Danielle, and I'm a founder of the Micronation of Glamorgannwg, along with Lloyd, Vanessa and Mark, who is also trustee of the Cymru Community Trust, offering our people and Micronation legal protection. We are a group of free-thinking people who class ourselves as Indigenous of the land, and we stand under natural law. We are currently in the process of establishing ourselves as a micronation, thereby creating our own jurisdiction outside of the UK system, and we are working towards international recognition to officially establish this status. In this video, I'll be looking at natural law, how it differs from common law, and I'll also summarise and explain our Constitution. The Glamorgannwg Constitution is established upon the guiding principles of natural law, and Mark uses common and natural law tactics in his approaches with adversaries on behalf of his beneficiaries in the Cymru Community Trust. Therefore, I'll just take a moment to explain the principles of natural law, and then I'll look at the differences between natural and common law. So natural law says that humans possess an intrinsic sense of right and wrong that governs our reasoning and behaviour. We all feel or sense what is right and what is wrong, without the need for being told or having rules and restrictions in place that take away our freedom and prevent us from exercising our connection to this inner wisdom. Common sense is a part of our natural law, and sadly this is being eroded through highly restrictive governance and training such as common purpose, which is rife throughout UK society. The concepts of natural law are ancient, stemming from the times of Plato and Aristotle. The great minds recognised alignments and patterns that resonated throughout ourselves as conscious beings, throughout all of nature and the universe, and the intrinsic balance and connections between us. It is by being in alignment with this universal energy that determines harmony or discord, health or sickness, abundance or lack. It is closely related to equity law, which also serves to find balance and sense in cases not covered by standard laws. Natural law is constant throughout time and throughout the world because it is based on human nature, not on culture or customs, and exists whether it is believed in or not. It is a fundamental law that underlies man-made law and common law. It is unchangeable and constant, and for this reason many refer to it as universal law. This is opposed to theories that laws are socially constructed and created by people. Rules or restrictions are created, but not law. Examples of natural laws exist in several fields, from philosophy to economics and also science. And natural law is actually the basis of the majority of ethical teachings. It could be simplified as the law of common sense. And it is often summarised by the following divine maxims. My rights end where yours begin, or my freedom ends where your freedom begins, as quoted by Martin Luther King. Or, according to an old saying in law, your liberty to swing your fist ends where my nose begins. And turning this around, it could also be defined as treat others as you would wish yourself to be treated. So, as I said, it's basically a law of common sense and a law of reason. Natural law is often confused with common law, but there are differences. There's lots of info about common law online, but basically it's being in your capacity of a man or woman rather than your artificial person or legal fiction that is created by your birth certificate. It may then be assumed that civil courts are against the legal fiction and criminal courts are against the man or woman, but this is not so, as even criminal courts require a human to agree to present their legal fiction. here are some major differences between the two. Common law is only applicable in Commonwealth countries, which is fine if you live in one, such as the UK, whereas natural law is universal and applicable worldwide. A common law court has a judge who decides on verdict and punishment, whereas the natural law court has a grand jury, with the judge only guiding on points of law. There can be miscarriages of justice under the common law, as a common law judge may be swayed by his personal opinions, or they could be bribed. Indeed, back in the days when we had common law courts, people used to go to equity courts to get the common law court's decisions overridden, as they were often unfair. As an aside, equity courts are where trust matters are dealt with, as these cases are not straightforward due to the multiple parties involved. In the natural law court, the jury's entire decision would be based on whether there had been harm or loss caused to the claimant by the defendant's actions. If not, the defendant should be acquitted. Common law is open to interpretation, and there can be victimless crimes, but in the natural law system there would be no victimless crimes, as there is no harm or loss caused if there is no victim. And in a joint legal law and natural law system, legal decisions and legal statutes that punish people where no harm or loss have been caused could be annulled by natural law. So I will now take you through the Constitution of Glamorgannwg. Our Constitution can be found on our website for you to read in full at your leisure. It was put together with a great deal of thought into every word and phrase, and everything in there is there for a purpose, whether this is to lawfully affirm a specific right or belief, to offer protection to each other and form a code of conduct for inside and outside of our nation, or to affirm the principles by which we live our lives. I will go through a brief summary of the Constitution and read out the People's Pledge that is signed by all our citizens. It begins with a declaration of our status. We recognise that we are Indigenous inhabitants of the land, where we dwell in our own right, rejecting all jurisdictions which misalign with our Constitution. We then set out the law we recognise, which is natural law, that is, the laws inherent in nature and the universe, the laws that are considered God-given, and the laws that are intrinsic to all life. We explain that these are obeyed through our principles, understanding and truth, rather than rules. We exist in balance and harmony with nature, recognising natural order while retaining and standing in our own power. We acknowledge our inner wisdom and divine connection, and we declare that natural law supersedes and is superior to all other laws, statutes, codes, rules and policies. This last part makes most, if not all, of UK law unconstitutional to our people. Next, we recognise the biological laws of nature, which are based on heavily suppressed discoveries by a German doctor in the early 80s. By making these laws a part of our Constitution, it allows us to declare exemption from medical interventions, procedures, treatments, diagnostic testing, and medications that are not in alignment with the laws. These laws are what the health services of our micronation are also based upon. We recognise that all people have unalienable, meaning irrevocable, rights to self-determination, which means the right to choose what is right for them in all aspects of their life. And this includes the unalienable rights to access to clean, natural resources for meeting essential needs of organic food, pure water, energy and shelter, education and learning and travel across borders, fairness and justice in response to wrongdoing, safety and security, including the right to protect themselves, and we acknowledge that all living beings are of equal standing and that we take full responsibility for our actions, including our decisions and choices. So then we come to the People's Pledge, which is the part that you align with to uphold the Constitution. And by signing this, you would agree to live with a balance of compassion and wisdom. Understand that our actions and words have consequences and treating others as we would wish ourselves to be treated. Acknowledge our own power by living our own truth and rejecting actions, words and deeds which could jeopardize our power. Honor the self-determination of other beings, societies, communities and nations. Conduct all business for the benefit and betterment of humanity fairly and honestly for an equal exchange that is mutually beneficial. Live in accordance with natural law, consciously considering the choices that we make and the impact they will have on all of nature, including ourselves. Sharing resources, information and skills to assist and support each other in developing creative, dynamic and self-sufficient communities. Settle disagreements via mediation, with arbitration only taking place when mediation fails. And valuing everyone's voice in an unbiased and impartial manner. Affirm to love, not hate, build, not destroy, and heal, not harm. Please visit the website to read the Constitution in full. If you want to know more, please get in touch through our website or come along to one of our community market and gathering days or a Wednesday workshop, which will be detailed on our website and in our Telegram channel and Facebook group, the links of which are on the first page of our website. We look forward to welcoming you. Thanks for watching.